It's deja vu when I'm running up these racks. I'm like the Terminator.
Crossing review.
Hold on.
I feel like I'm stuck in a cycle.
It was fake engagement. We're back. I think it's fake engagement. They say so.
It's like a curse,
I don't know why they keep saying fake
and I can't
engagement.
escape it. It's like
Maybe there's too much
deja
sharing and too
vu.
much liking. I don't
It's
know.
me, Zeus.
But
It's deja
we'll get it
vu
going
when I'm
again.
running up these racks. I'm like the Terminator screaming, I'll be back. It's deja vu when I'm out here flying first class.
All right,
It's
we're
like
back.
every week I gotta take out the trash. I'm on top of my game.
All right, we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, they said fake engagement. I don't know what the heck that is, but it seems to happen every day. I don't know what that is. So maybe there's too much tapping and too much liking. I don't know, or sharing. But we got to throttle it down a little bit, ladies and gentlemen. I do appreciate all of you doing that, though. But maybe there's a such thing as doing too much too fast. Because we're getting ahead of the algorithm, right? But thank you all. So, like I was saying, for those of you who don't know who I am, I go by the name Zeus, or some like to say Triple H. And why do they call me Triple H? Was quite simple. First H on, a second H humble, and the last and the final H, ladies and gentlemen. And this is where I was. It's because I am and will always remain, you've guessed it, the most handsome. I got to get it out as fast as possible. Jeez. Now, many of you know exactly what I do, or what we do over here on this side of TikTok, on this side of town. What we do is spectacular. It's honestly incredible, but it's an outstanding thing we do. We hold those on the right, especially those who worship Donald J. Trump. We hold them accountable in ways you could never imagine, all right, simply by delivering them 1,000% pure facts, pure truth, all right? And what we're doing is we're taking the will of MAGA, ladies and gentlemen, right? And you know what we do? We take the wheel of MAGA and we snap it like a twig, right? W Zeus. And the way that we do that is, again, we just continue to point out the Achilles heel, so to speak, of MAGA, which is their hypocrisy, right? And so what I'll say is this. Do we have anybody out there that still is brave enough to admit that they still support Donald Trump? W Zena. Anybody out there still bravely representing Donald Trump? Just identify yourselves. I don't need anybody to come up here that's MAGA right now, because to be quite honest, you've done enough damage to this great country of ours. Okay. I'm trying to see anybody out there. Okay, Kathy, you still support Donald Trump? All right, listen up, Kathy. I don't know if this is your first time running across me, but 9 times out of 10, actually 10 times out of 10, a lot of you know who I am, but you pretend like you don't know who I am so that you can get a little bit more freedom to roam around in the kingdom. But I know you know who I am, but I'll say it anyway. If you don't want me to ruin your breakfast, your lunch, your dinner, honestly, and everything in between, do me a huge favor, Kathy. You might want to leave this live, because it's going to get very, very, very uncomfortable. I promise you it will. But get this, Kathy. You don't got to take my word for it. Listen to your leader.
If you're not happy here, then you can leave. As far as I'm concerned, if you hate our country, if you're not happy here, you can leave. If you're not happy in the U.S., if you're complaining all the time, very simply, you can leave. You can leave right now. Come back if you want. Don't come back. It's okay too. But if you're not happy, you can leave.
All right, W Zeus, let the games begin. You're now in the Thunderdome, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't take any responsibility for what is said or done, because what we're all doing is we're going to get to the truth, whether you like it or not. And by the way, before I even get started, I'm going to say W to Keisha. And Takesha, I hope you're here, because on Friday, you said something and we all heard you say it. And some of us, I was a little bit reserved, right? I was like, oh, maybe Takesha, you might be just being a little too honest in the kingdom, Takesha. Slow down. But she said it. She knew Donald Trump was going to do what he did this weekend. And she called it perfectly. I told you, I've seen a lot of things in life, but I've never seen anybody that accurate. So Takesha, please come up here later today and also bring me those winning lottery numbers. Thank you. Because see, if you could do that, Takesha, you got to give me the lottery numbers. I'm going to be honest with you. But before we get into that, you know what I decided I wanted to do? Because I've never been so angry and embarrassed at the same time. And I've done a lot of things in my life to be, embarrassed about or ashamed of. But where we are right now, ladies and gentlemen, with Donald J. Trump in the White House and his, you see these people right here, we're going to play what he said because there's very important points in that ridiculous address to the nation that he gave after he did something just totally unforgivable. And I said to myself, I said, how could any Trump supporter, the Four Stooges, yeah, this is the same president that told us he would not get us into any wars, right? This is the same guy, right? Did I get it wrong? Did he say he was going to end the conflict in Ukraine and whatnot? And then he does something like this on the weekend. We're all spending time with our family, friends, trying to be good Americans. And he decides it's just not enough to do what I've already done. You know, he's brought irreversible harm to this country. I got to ratchet it up and go do something else. I got to get into other countries' business because what is he trying to hide? You know? And I said, you know what? We're going to have to do it. All right. What is he trying to hide? So what I want to do is this. W. Kamala Harris. To see, I just can't help but wonder, did Kamala Harris let us know? So what we'll do is this. We're going to go back a little bit in time. And I want the MAGA demons out there to really listen to what Vice President Kamala Harris is saying, has said. All right. And ask yourself, why do I have so much hatred in my heart towards this woman? Because all she's doing is telling the truth.
Absolutely unacceptable and tweeting out, this bravado about, lock and loaded. What does that mean? Okay, and also,
well, it's an implicit military threat. The
yes,
US
it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And again,
now this is her in 2019, by the way. All right, but she's always on message. I got to
listen, as far as I'm concerned, this president is motivated by his personal insecurities more than he is our national security. If this president is thinking about putting us in a position where we're in a war with Iran, the consequences will be absolutely unacceptable and tragic in terms of the young men and women who are American soldiers who would be sent and deployed into something that was completely avoidable. In a Harris administration, we wouldn't have gotten ourselves into this mess. I do not believe that the current president of the United States is working in the best interest of the people of this country. I have good reason, based on everything we know publicly, to suspect and to be concerned that his motivation is more out of self-interest than it is the interest of the American people.
So we're going to say W to Vice President Kamala Harris. Was Kamala lying? Was she lying? Does anyone think the Vice President Kamala Harris was lying? No. And she's giving us so many chances to just see the truth.
He said he will target and punish those who disagree with him or refuse to bend to his will. He calls these Americans the enemy within and says that he would use the American military to go after American citizens.
That's what he does.
Journalists whose stories he doesn't like. Nonpartisan election officials who refuse to cheat by finding a few extra votes for him.
Yeah.
Judges who insist on following the law instead of following him. It is for reasons like these that General Mark Milley, the former chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff,
What'd he do?
Donald Trump's top general, has called Trump, and I quote, fascist to the core. He said he will talk
Fascist to the core. So Vice President Kamala Harris laid it all out there, ladies and gentlemen, who Donald Trump was. But his supporters, they chose to go down a different path with the information they had. And which is why I say, this is why, Zeus, you don't hold any convictions or principles. You are just after the bag. Oh, hold on. Come up here. Oh, you can't even come up here. The dude has arrived. Do me a huge favor and just zip it. I don't need to speak to the demon right now. I'll save time after I do my monologue to address whatever lies you got going on in your mind. All right. Because one thing I'll say is this, and this goes out to any Trump supporter who wants to keep saying Zeus is going after the bag or a grifter. Have you seen me selling any golden cell phones, MAGA? Have you seen me selling any golden tennis shoes? Have you seen me selling $5 million visas, MAGA, while you're sitting up here making up things about me? No, you haven't. So you know what I'm going to do, ladies and gentlemen? I didn't want to do it. Let's warm up the lake of fire, all right? The dude has arrived, is about to depart and get a first-class trip. Because every MAGA accusation is what? A MAGA confession. He's getting a first-class trip straight to hell.
Silence, you MAGA Damon.
You have the sitting president of the United States accepting a $400 million gift from Qatar, a known tea country, and you're going to sit up here and get mad at me on TikTok? Have you lost? You know what? Donald Trump was right when he said this about his supporters.
You're rather stupid when you hate the country.
W. Zeus. It's your hypocrisy, MAGA, that will be your downfall, because every single thing you claim you have a problem with, we get the information. It's like God is watching you, Trump supporters, and the moment you open your mouth and say or do something, within less than 24 hours, we find out what you're talking about is what you're doing, because you know it's called projection, W. Zeus. Now, the reason we are now here at this pivotal moment in American history, ladies and gentlemen, let me get back to the demon stuff, because, you know, we got to address these demons. All right. And by the way, here we go. Yeah. Now, the reason we are here, ladies and gentlemen, is this all started with Elon Musk dropping the bomb, the B, on you Trump supporters and telling you that your dear leader was in the Epstein files. That's why we're here. And he's been trying to do anything he can to change the narrative. But I got memory like an elephant. Sorry, it's never going to work. It'll never escape me. Elon, drop the information so we can put this to rest, all right? Because the American people at this point deserve it. Why do we got to get dragged into a war because somebody has some dirt they're trying to hide? All right, if you're innocent, release it, and we'll all, you know what? I'll even apologize. If he's innocent, I'll apologize. W. Zeus. I will apologize. I'm so sorry. I got it wrong. I really thought you were in there, all right? Because that's what innocent people would do. But I know that'll never happen because we got people like this. You know, Caroline Levitt, ladies and gentlemen. Now, this is a few days before what happened this weekend, and just listen to the gaslighting, all right? You can't make this stuff up, all right?
Correspondent for Zero Hedge. With that,
Listen to
Dan,
this.
please kick us off.
Thank you, Caroline.
And this is called The Room Goes Silent as a reporter unloads Epstein and Clinton secrets on live TV. So we need to get this on the record.
First question is on foreign policy.
Sure.
The president has made several moves towards peace in multiple fronts. India, Pakistan with the Houthis, talking with Iran, talking with Putin. Biden didn't even talk to Putin for the entire span of the war, which is crazy considering two nuclear powers were engaged in a proxy war. So I do admire these moves by the current president, I'll be honest. However, as of today, we are still funding both Israel's and Ukraine's wars. So can Americans expect to finally be done financing foreign wars at some point? Do you consider that one of the president's goals?
Well, I think I can summarize the president's foreign policy agenda with two words: America first. And that means putting the American people and the American taxpayer first.
So Caroline Levitt says she can summarize Donald Trump's foreign policy by 1, putting America first, 2, putting the American people first. Now, we all just saw what happened this weekend. So once again, we have more evidence that his administration is gaslighting us and just spreading lies. Spreading lies. And I'll tell you, I have concrete evidence, ladies and gentlemen, that Donald Trump isn't putting America first. I do. And we'll get into that. But just listen to these lies. And this is why I say this. Any Trump supporter on the internet right now, on TikTok right now, that is still upholding this Trump administration, just know one thing. We all know you're lying. W. Zeus, you're lying.
And that's why the president is moving as quickly as he possibly can and working overtime to end these conflicts in both Israel and Gaza, and also the Russia-Ukraine war. As you all know, the president will be speaking with Putin at 10 o'clock. He plans to call President Zelensky when that call concludes. I spoke to the president about that call at 10 o'clock. I don't want to get ahead of those very important conversations, but of course you will hear directly from the president or me after those calls conclude today. So you can expect that. As for Israel and Gaza, the president continues to not only himself but his national security team engage in talks on both sides of this conflict. The president made it very clear to Hamas that he wanted to see all hostages released. And last week, when we were flying out of town, there was great news on that front with the return of Eden Alexander, who is the last remaining hostage in Gaza. So to answer your question, the president is always thinking about the American people, the American taxpayer first. He wants these conflicts to end.
Did you hear that? Did you just hear his press secretary say he wants these conflicts to end? And the reason that I'm taking time to let that sink in is because aren't we all tired of Donald Trump and his supporters lying to us like this? Like, we don't hear this stuff. Where are you, MAGA? You put pictures up of Joe Biden. I don't care about President Biden right now. As a matter of fact, the only thing I want is President Biden to be back in the White House. W. Zeus. I want to see America first, and I want conflicts to end. And we're not making this up. We're saying this because that's what your dear leader continues to say to us while he's playing in our faces and getting us into these nasty forever wars. And why is he doing it again, ladies and gentlemen? Because what did we say? Elon dropped the bomb about Epstein. We know what it is.
Not just to save money, but most importantly, to save lives.
Thank you. And my only other question for you is, so over the weekend, President Trump posted Truth Social a video highlighting what most people call the Clinton body count, which is the strange number of suicides that seem to happen in Clinton circles.
Bill Clinton.
I have a headline here from the Washington Post that said, Trump peddles false conspiracy theories tying the Clintons to several deaths. So I just wanted to highlight real quick, this wasn't in Trump's video, but this is from the...
To the Trump supporters in my chat, why is it as soon as I'm about to expose what Elon exposed on X, now you want to pipe up in the comment section? I've made it real clear. If you disagree with me, send a guest request. Other than that, zip it. Because look at what you've already done to this country, MAGA. It's your ignorance that got us in this situation we're in. All right? Where we're about to end up possibly spending $9, $10 for a gallon of gas. You know what that's going to do to our grocery prices? Do you know what that's going to do to our eggs? Please do not bring up President Barack Obama or President Joe Biden, because they never did anything like this, and you know it, you MAGA demons. Zip it.
Times. And it's the death of Mark Middleton, who was a former Clinton White House aide, who was found dead on a Clinton Foundation property. And I'll just quote from the Arkansas Times. Middleton apparently shot himself in the chest with a shotgun and also hung himself from a tree with an extension cord. So I have no idea how somebody commits suicide that way, but if the Washington Post is here, maybe you can enlighten us as to how that was actually a suicide.
So we got all the conspiracies about Bill Clinton out here. This is what the reporter is asking Caroline Levitt. We got all that information out here about Bill Clinton, a Democrat. All right, but let's continue with this inquiry.
So anyways, that's just a lead into my question about the most famous Clinton-related suicide, which is that of Jeffrey Epstein. There's still a lot of questions around that case. You've released phase 1 of the Epstein files. What was missing from that is any connection to his ties to intelligence agencies, and that's really the whole story, that not just trafficking young girls, but doing it on behalf of intelligence agencies, and even potentially as part of a blackmail ring with potential ties to the Israeli government. So,
the Epstein tiles are tied to the Israeli government. See, I didn't even know that, but when I heard the reporter say this, and you look at where we're at now, it makes perfect sense.
When can we expect it? Will it have information pertaining to those aspects of the Epstein case?
I know the Attorney General has committed to releasing those files. I would defer you to the Department of Justice on her timeline, but when she...
Whoa. This behavior is not in line with our policies and may result in gifting, suspension, reason, reproduced content, learn. Ooh, look at that, ladies and gentlemen. Wow, look at that, ladies and gentlemen. W. Zeus. Wow. Wow, that's a new violation. I've never heard that kind of a violation. But obviously, they said, Zeus, you can't do the gifting anymore because you're going too deep into the. But it looks like the gift still works. Okay. Well, you know what? Maybe I'll cool off on that, all right? Because maybe I went a little too hard. But ladies and gentlemen, as you can see, we're dealing with something, and this is why I say it's a strong demonic force. Why don't I move to Iran? Someone ask me that? Let me ask you. Come on up here, Savvy. Come on up here. Because I just decided to leave this alone. I think we already know what that is, and I'm not going to push it a little further because I've already done a number on you. Savvy, I invited you up here to come defend your dear leader, and guess what, ladies and gentlemen? Savvy didn't want to come up here and defend their dear leader. So, Savvy, I'm not mad at that. What I am mad at, Savvy, is you Trump supporters who got us into this situation, got us committed to a forever war. You could have used that same money that you're using to send Israel to do what you're doing. You could have kept Americans on Social Security. You could have kept the Medicaid going. You could have made America great. But instead, you didn't do that. You made America worse. So guess what we're going to do, ladies and gentlemen? Let's warm up this lake of fire. And let's go ahead and send Savvy the liar. You're not so savvy now that I think about it. Let's go ahead and send them where they came from. Back to hell.
Silence, you longer David.
W Zeus. They want to take my gifts off. I've never seen that warning on TikTok. They said we got to slow you down, champ. You're going too hard in the paint. But that's all we do is get out here and we tell the truth, right? I mean, now this is the crux of what I wanted to get at. Now we've just laid the foundation, right? Which is pretty much all of Trump's lies and the stuff that he has going on that Elon brought up. And this is all his effort to distract us from that. And so now, ladies and gentlemen, let's get to him delivering his address to the nation over the weekend, in which he basically tilted the scale and basically got us into another conflict in the Middle East. And so I'll preface this by saying this to the Trump supporters. I never, ever, and promise you, if you bring it up, I'm just going to stop you. Never, ever bring up Joe Biden and the Afghanistan withdrawal ever again. Never, ever bring that up around Big Zeus, because I can't even entertain that, especially after I watched this. And I watched this and I could just see it in his face. The whole time he was talking, his diaper was full.
Thank you very much. A short time ago, the U.S. military carried out massive precision strikes on the 3 key nuclear facilities in the Iranian regime: Fordow, Natanz, and Esfahan. Everybody heard those names for years as they built this horribly destructive enterprise. Our objective was the destruction of Iran's nuclear enrichment capacity and a stop to the nuclear threat posed by the world's #1 state sponsor of terror. Tonight I can report to the world that the strikes were a spectacular military success. Iran's key nuclear enrichment facilities have been completely and totally obliterated. Iran, the bully of the Middle East, must now make peace. If they do not, future attacks will be far greater and a lot easier. For 40 years, Iran has been saying death to America, death to Israel. They have been killing our people, blowing off their arms, blowing off their legs with roadside bombs. That was their specialty. We lost over 1,000 people, and hundreds of thousands throughout the Middle East and around the world have died as a direct result of their hate. In particular, so many were killed by their general, Qasem Soleimani. I decided a long time ago that I would not let this happen. It will not continue. I want to thank and congratulate Prime Minister Bibi Netanyahu. We worked as a team like perhaps no team has ever worked before.
Did he just thank Israel and Netanyahu before he praised the American military? Did you all hear what he just did? Did he thank our men and women in uniform just now? No. It's not America first. Didn't I tell you? I had the information. It's not America first. We just caught them red-handed.
Gone a long way to erasing this horrible threat to Israel. I want to thank the Israeli military for the wonderful job they've done.
Again, he's not thanking the men and women of the United States in uniform. He's thanking another country. Lisa, either you send Big Zeus a guest request and try to redeem yourself, all right? Because everyone knows that comment you just made is pure ignorance. Or just zip it. Because it's a difference between what I'm doing and what you're doing, Lisa. You're sitting in the comment section. Some of us actually go live and put an address on it, if you know what I mean. So if you don't want to bring up and start and really argue that point, Lisa, just zip it, because I got everything under control over here. I promise you I do. W Zeus. I got everything under control, Lisa.
And most importantly, I want to congratulate the great American patriots who flew those magnificent machines tonight, and all of the United States military on an operation the likes of which the world has not seen in many, many decades. Hopefully, we will no longer need their services in this capacity. I hope that's so. I also want to congratulate the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Dan Raisin Kane, spectacular general, and all of the brilliant military minds involved in this attack. With all of that being said, this cannot continue. There will be either peace or there will be tragedy for Iran far greater than we have witnessed over the last 8 days. Remember, there are many targets left. Tonight's was the most difficult of them all, by far, and perhaps the most lethal. But if peace does not come quickly, we will go after those other targets with precision, speed, and skill. Most of them can be taken out in a matter of minutes. There's no military in the world that could have done what we did tonight.
Wow.
Not even close. There has never been a military that could do what took place just a little while ago. Tomorrow, General Kane, Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth will have a press conference at 8 a.m. at the Pentagon. And I want to just thank everybody, and in particular, God. I want to just say, we love you, God, and we love our great military. Protect them. God bless the Middle East. God bless Israel. And God bless America. Thank you.
Did you hear that? God bless the Middle East. God bless Israel. Then God bless America. Another instance in which he is not placing America first. And so that's for you so-called Christians out there. Explain that. Why is he thanking Israel before he thanks America? Why is he putting God, saying God bless the Middle East and God bless Israel before God bless America? He doesn't even realize he's the president of the United States. Is that your answer? Or is there something more nefarious going on?
Thank you.
And then he says, thank God at the end of this, ladies and gentlemen, as if to say God himself told him to go over there and do this. And Takesha, you were right. You're right, Takesha. And so what we're going to do, ladies and gentlemen, is because we know this was not the works of the God that we all know is God. This is a different God. Yeah. This is a demonic force. And so with that, Lisa, are you still in the chat, Lisa? Okay, because now, Lisa, this is where judgment time has come. You see this, Lisa? This is my hammer. You can see it's been pretty used. Yeah, I've sent a lot of demons like yourself straight to hell. So what I'm going to do is this, Lisa. Let's go ahead, ladies and gentlemen, and warm up this lake of fire once again. Because congratulations, Lisa. We're going into World War III. Your egg prices are going to go through the roof. We're going to be paying $9, $10 a gallon of gas. We're going straight into a 1929 style recession that's also going to require us to actually be at war. A war we could have prevented, but we're going because of you, Lisa. Ladies and gentlemen, let's send these Trump supporters once again where they came from. Straight to hell.
Silence, you MAGA demon!
W Zeus, you knew I was going to have to. You knew I was going to have to address this today, MAGA. Let's not pretend like you don't understand where this energy is coming from. Do you think us Democrats and real Americans out here are going to sit back and watch you do exactly what you promised us you wouldn't do without saying something. Again, MAGA, you are in a cult. I expect nothing from you other than blind loyalty, blind allegiance. But on this side of town, absolutely not. We're going to make sure that we do everything we can to rein this president in. My, oh my, W Zeus, what happened to the comments? What happened to the comments, ladies and gentlemen? Wow, where did the comments go? My, oh my, okay. I thought TikTok did something with them. Now, let's go to the audience, ladies and gentlemen, and let's start hearing from those out there who are brave enough to get in the box. Takesha, are you there? We're going to start with Takesha. What a show this. Okay, yeah. Good morning, Takesha. I've been waiting to check in with you. You called. What happened? Anything you would like to say before we get started?
Zeus.
Talk to him. Yes.
I want people to know I'm not a psychic. I don't have a crystal ball.
Oh, you don't got those lottery numbers.
I just know ridiculousness when I hear it. I just know when Donald Trump tried to stoke fear into people, and it doesn't work. He wasn't going to wait 2 weeks. I knew that. He's a liar, Zeus. He had already been talking at those people. He had already been basically saying what he was going to do. He wasn't going to wait. And guess what they knew? They knew he wasn't going to wait too. And that's why they moved their stuff. So what Donald Trump and them did Saturday by dropping those bombs was the same as a man sleeping with a woman. Waking up through the middle of the night, going in through the back door while she sleep.
Yeah.
And not finishing.
Yeah.
That's what they did, Zeus.
Wow.
It solved nothing.
Wow.
They got nothing out of it. J.D. Vance said them people still got all their stuff.
Wow.
So what did they do? Trump said the building was decimated.
Yeah.
They said it's not decimated.
Yeah.
That is severely damaged, but it's still there, Zeus.
Yeah.
So what was the point? Standing up there telling me something, thank you, God, for what?
Yeah. Yeah.
For going attacking somebody that didn't attack you. That's why I said Trump doesn't know God. He don't even know what to thank God for. What he should have been doing was praying for God to lead him on what to do in the situation.
Ordering his steps.
Order my steps, God. He ain't asked God to order his steps yet.
Wow.
And God got on earplugs when it comes to Donald Trump.
You're right. So he wasted a bunch of Americans' taxpayers' money on this ridiculous stunt, and now you hear Iran is about to retaliate, possibly because I heard one of their leaders is going up there meeting with Russia. This is what I'm hearing, to try to get Russia's blessing on their response to the United States, which is to close the Strait of Hormuz, which they say will possibly send the price of oil through the roof.
Zeus, ain't no possibly. He went over there and attacked those people. The only difference is that he's not gonna know when they're coming because they don't run their mouth like he run his. And I think that's the sad part. Now you got parents with kids who are in the military. Their peace has been broken up because they don't know what's about to happen as far as their children having to go and fight for something that first of all, America had nothing to do with. All these people talking about something the Bible said protect Israel. That's not what the Bible said.
Talk to him.
And then Israel is not the Bible is not talking about the government of Israel. It's talking about the nation, the people. Israel is a people that suffer. It has nothing to do with you going over there starting a war with folks, and then we gonna take up for you when you in the wrong. Cut it out.
Yeah.
Cut it out.
Yeah.
Y'all done got so holy since Donald Trump got in office when it come to Israel. Y'all done got so deep into Israel till y'all don't even know how the word Israel came to be. Jacob wrestled with the Lord all night long. Jacob, I'm going to call you Israel. That's where that comes from. That means wrestle with God. Y'all don't know nothing.
Thank you.
But here y'all go. Listening to somebody else and repeating what somebody else told y'all. Let it go. The reason y'all in the mess y'all in, Cause y'all ain't pray for somebody godly to run the world.
Hold on, John, some demon in the chat, Takesha. He said this lady, and I invited John up here because I don't know if John is really saying this or if this is a strong demonic force that's gotten him. But John says this lady, talking about you, Takesha, is out of her mind. She's so uninformed, it's unbelievable. John, could you come on up here? Because Takesha didn't have to give you this game, this information. She's giving you straight Bible chapter and verse. John, where is she lying at? See, John doesn't want to come up here. All right, well,
the only thing I can say for that is good night, John, boy. The only thing you can do for me, John, is hit that cash app. Hit that cash app, John, and then let me go pay for some lessons.
Thank you.
That's what you do, John.
Yeah.
The cash app, John. The cash app is in the bio. Pay for me to go get some lessons. That's what you can do, Sir Johnny boy.
Yeah, because
But like
Takesha's
I
not
said-
lying, John, so I would
like
relax
I said,
on that.
Zeus,
Yeah.
Benjamin BB
Yeah.
has been saying the same thing for about 25, 30 years. That these people close to a nuclear weapon. If you can't trust the person you put in charge to keep a watch over that, then why does she have a position? Why is Tulsi Gabbard in a position? If she said one thing and you go off and say another one, come on now. You don't know nothing, Donald Trump. We supposed to just trust your word?
Yeah.
You and BB, come on, let's be for real. The only thing happened, Zeus,
What's that?
was BB found a president who he could butter up to get him to do what he wanted him to do. And that's what happened. All you got to do is write him a love letter, and you get all you want. I'm thinking about writing him a love letter so I can get me some money. Because I'm sure money going to come behind that love letter.
Yeah, you never know, Takesha, and this is why I think it's incredible that we're in this predicament because it's so obvious to us what's going on, but yet folks like John out there, they don't want to admit it. They don't want to accept the fact that they ain't going up against the Democrats. They're going up against God, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And we're going to keep holding these people.
They better try to get themselves in order and stop praising a man. Because Trump is not to be praised. Y'all treat this man like he's standing up there and took Jesus' seat and threw him off his own throne.
Yeah. And they're living out prophecy in a way, wouldn't you say? Are you there,
Beautiful.
Yeah.
They pitiful, Zeus.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna try to find some other Trump supporters up here, Takesha.
Please find some.
Okay, because I want to check in with them to make sure they understand hell will be their portion if they don't get it right.
Somebody find DJ for me.
Yo.
Please find DJ.
DJ might
Please be here, DJ.
AEW Takesha. DJ probably doesn't want to come up because you all did a number on him last time. All right, but if he's here, you know what? We'll have church with him and we'll sit him down and straighten him out like we always do. All right.
Well, we ain't gonna. I'm finna go, but DJ ain't gonna do nothing but do the chubby chuckle, and that's twist. All right, Zeus.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. W's in the chat for Takesha. She called it. No lies. No lies detected. And now, as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, it's a show of force. Are there any Trump supporters out there that are brave enough to come up today? Let's check in and see where MAGA is at this morning. Where are the Trump supporters at that are saying that this is a good conflict for the United States to be committed to? Because I got so much evidence out there that says this isn't really a good conflict that you know it isn't. All right, let's go to the, let's see. I need 3 minutes to share. Oh, okay. You said happy place. All right, happy place. I'm going to ask, did you vote for Donald Trump, first of all, happy place?
Hey, how are you today?
I'm all right. You voted for Trump?
No, but I needed to share something with you, please.
Okay.
That I know that you know more about it probably than me, but do these people realize that there are other people in our country that are for Iran and they're called sleeper cells? Or do you've heard of that, right?
Yeah, I've heard of it. Yeah.
Okay, so in other words, I'm trying to tell the MAGAs that they're not thinking that they're thinking maybe another big boom will come over and we'll knock it out of the sky. But in all honesty, Hegseth and Trump don't know what they're doing, and we got people in this country that can turn on us like 9/11.
Well, you know what they're saying? They're saying Biden let those people, and this is their defense to that. Did you know that?
Well, they blame him for everything. I mean, even before he was president, they're probably still blaming him for stuff that happened then.
Yeah.
You know, they can't stop. It's just an inevitable. But what I'm saying is, do they not know that their neighbors might look like them, that might have a better standing with Iran, and feel like just one day, just, you know, like setting up a boom boom in their neighbor's house or at the public mall?
Wow.
Or somewhere where they're going to be at a parade, or, you know, don't these people, they might be in a stadium.
And you can't, and when you say that, I can't help but think, didn't Donald Trump know this before he did what he did? Do you think he knew this before he did what he did and still ignored that reality and did it anyway?
He just does what he wants, and he doesn't care who he puts at risk. He doesn't care how many people in this country go to hell in a handbasket, because he's doing what he wants to do. He's overriding every form of government, whether it's federal judges, you know, the police, anybody that tells him no. It's just like he goes the opposite direction and does what he wants, like a spoiled child. Meanwhile, we're sitting there and we're going to be at risk, big time risk. And I saw a lady that translated what the Russians think about us, and right now they are mocking the crap out of Trump, and they're saying that they believe that we're going to get something's going to happen that's not going to be good, and they're laughing at us. They are freaking laughing. They can't stand Trump, and they think he's an idiot. Like, I mean, half the nation does, or more than half. So we're really in trouble, Zeus.
Wow.
And I don't like sleeping with one eye open, but these dumbasses that are young that voted for Trump, they're going to find out the hard way that America is almost dissolved completely. And when they can't go anywhere or have fun or do anything because they have no money.
You know what I've heard? Happy place. What Trump did is basically set the United States up to end. We might not even have a country after this, because the amount of people that do not like this is outstanding. And I'm just talking from the foreign policy angle. He's forcing China and Russia and now Iran to come together now, right? Because he's made them look like the victim in this. I don't know how he did this. We have the conflict with Ukraine going on with Russia, right? And then domestically, we're divided like we've never been divided right now.
Well,
he's put us on the fast track to end the democracy. I really do think that, and I hope that's not what happens, but this is what it looks like.
Oh, absolutely. He came in like a big, you know, one of those balls that crush the houses. What are those things called? A
wrecking ball.
He's a wrecking ball, and he's like in a china shop breaking all the little glass and all the beautiful little things. He came in here, and I believe it's because the last straw was he didn't get his parade, and he's crying about it like the little bitch he is.
Oh, we keep it clean now, but you gotta keep it. But you know, I heard what that meant. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm just so disgusted, and I don't know what to think anymore, except that you're right. I don't think we really can get our America back. No country's going to trust us ever again.
Yeah, they learned not to do that after he tore up the Iran nuclear deal. They said, well, why would we start doing that when we know anytime you put a president in, they can go and violate the agreement the previous president had? Why stop doing what we're doing, you know, enriching the uranium? This is all Trump's fault.
Yeah, but he's got the power now, doesn't he? He's trying to get more power by putting boots on the ground and making up lies to put boots on the ground. There was nobody that was going out of their way being violent.
Nope.
He wanted to put those rubber boo-boos at him and the smelly stuff that he put into the crowd. And that's what made people a little bit wound up. I mean, if somebody was doing that to me, I'm sure I'd probably get a wild hair.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. Do you feel safer now that Trump is in the White House, or less safer? Because I want MAGA to understand this, because this is where we're at right now.
I feel extremely on edge that we are in for something, whether it's internal with the people that are here, or it could be both. It could be something coming. Do you think another country that Trump is going to threaten is going to wait for him to be the first one to go at night and start, you know, attacking them with things? Or do you think maybe they'll retaliate before we get the chance because they feel threatened?
Wow.
He's leaving it open for every country to take a aim at us right now.
And what about our relationship with our allies? What do you think our relationship is with our allies now? Is it in a good shape now, or is that also something we should be concerned about?
We don't have any allies. He made everybody run for the border. he got everybody so mad at him all across the United States and outside the United States in every country that we have nobody looking out for us. So basically, we're like a clay pigeon with somebody getting ready to pew pew. We're going up in the air. We don't know where we're going to land. We know that everybody's going to see us as a target, and this is where he put us. And for these young people that are like, MAGA, MAGA, yeah, you're right, Zeus. They need to go down into that burning pit that you send them to.
Thank you.
I just wanted to say that and land my plane, but thank you for having me up. 'Cause I don't see any brave MAGAs standing in line. They'd rather go down in the chat box because they're afraid to face you. Bunch of chicken craps.
Thank you. Happy Place. You know what? I got to give you a follow for that. What you just did, some of the best work I've seen in a long time, and we all do a lot of incredible work. But you said exactly, and I could see that their hearts and they're sweating out there. They're trembling right now. Because you were 100% right. We don't feel safer. We're sitting ducks. And the person that's in the driver's seat of all this has already shown us all he lacks the ability, the skill set. The people around him do as well. They don't have the competence needed to stop this situation from getting worse. They just can't do it.
Well, thank you again for having me. I just wanted to say I knew nobody else was going to try to come up. So
yeah.
I said, just give me a few minutes to say what I got to say. So maybe one of their brain cells will absorb it. I hope so, but I doubt it.
Whatever's left, right? All right, well, listen, we'll try it. We'll try W Happy Place. Ladies and gentlemen. W, thank you. You too. All right. See, this is what we need, and all I'm doing is I'm checking in with everyday Americans. Does anyone out there feel safer now that Donald Trump has done this? How about that? If you feel safer because Donald Trump is in the White House, go ahead and come on up here and tell us all why you feel so safe. Because I would really just you don't even got to defend it. I just want to hear what the answer is, Rudy. Rudy, come on up here. I sent you an invite. Wow, ladies and gentlemen, Rudy. Good morning, Rudy.
What's up, sis? How you been, man?
I've seen better days.
You seen better days?
Yeah.
Really?
Do you feel safer now?
Oh, definitely, man.
Go ahead and could you expand on why you feel so much safer? Because I don't see it. In case you haven't heard, there's other people coming up here and they're saying we don't feel safe, bro.
You and your demons have been saying that everything was going to be hell with Trump around, and I mean, egg prices have dropped. California's gas prices has gone up because of your senators and all that. So I mean, give him time, okay? He's working on it. It's a working process, bro. You already know.
You should be a comedian. I'll give you that. You could be a comedian.
I mean,
because
like you said I was going to be deported pretty soon. I've already been stopped a few times, man, and no deportation yet.
Well,
I look Latino, don't I?
Well, here's the thing. A broken clock is right twice a day. So, just keep up the good work. Eventually, the stars might align and you might get that trip. Now, here's the thing. You could do it the easy way or the hard way. The easy way is just for you to say, hey, I need the $1,000. Trump, send me to wherever you think I belong. Have you done that yet?
Nah, bro, I don't. I belong right where I belong, man. I'm good here in Mormonville, Utah.
Okay, and so you feel safer though, because at this point we can get into the border and all that stuff. But are you tracking and following what's happening? We just went over there. Is this why you voted for Trump, for him to go and do stuff like that and make our enemies all of a sudden start combining forces?
But you weren't worried about it when they were forming the BRICS union under your plant of a president, huh? You weren't worried about it then?
Well,
really?
no,
like
not
you're gonna tell me you
not really. I wasn't because one thing is BRICS. Listen, W Dance, listen, Rudy. One thing is BRICS, but let's just be honest. If I go and do something like what Trump just did, should we expect any kind of retaliation?
From Iran?
Or because the Iranians, they've met with Russia now. You know this, right?
Oh, the union that Biden led form? Yeah, I know.
So you can't, so they met with Russia and they're looking for Russia's blessings. And the elephant in the room is this. They want to close the Strait. Listen.
The president got us into it, Russia, you
listen. Did they want to close the Strait of Hormuz? You know where that's at? No, you don't. Okay, and so what that's going to do is cut off 20% of the world's supply of oil. Now, You understand how this works, right? Drill Baby Drill was all about producing so much oil that the price of oil drops, which means all the other stuff around you drops. Your groceries, you know what I mean? Your car prices. We were supposed to be bringing the cost down. But if you cut off 20% of the world's oil, you choke it because this guy got us into this conflict. What they're saying is you could be in a situation where you're spending $9 to $10 a gallon, which means everything else is going to go up. Just like it would go down. If it goes the other way, it's going to go up. Is that what you voted for?
Hey, we will see when we get there, but I doubt we'll get there, bro. I doubt it. You're Delulu, man. All your fans that are putting all this stuff up here, man, you like literally have brainwashed them, bro. Just like your senators have brainwashed you into thinking that you're safe there.
Okay.
In California.
Okay. So let me ask you a question because I could get straight to judgment. W, Dan, that scared me. Let me ask you one last question.
Go ahead, man.
And then we'll get to judgment. You already know this is worthy of hell. Did President Biden ever do anything like this?
You mean the Democrats? Because he wasn't running this country. Come on, stop acting like.
Did Biden ever do anything like this? Dropping, you know what, on another country, like Iran? Did he do this?
I can't remember if he did, but
he
I know
didn't.
He did something.
Just say no. So Rudy, just
he started Ukrainian and Russia's war.
What year did that? Okay, Rudy. I mean, now I gotta send you to hell. What year did the conflict between Russia and Ukraine start?
Somewhere in 2018, I believe.
Wrong. It started in 2014 when Russia took Crimea. So what I'm going to do is this, Rudy. You don't know anything. So it started before Biden, but you can't think beyond that, and you don't even want to assign the responsibility.
Obama, then.
Okay, all right. Well, Rudy, thank you so much, Rudy. Ladies and gentlemen, I thought they were going to send us their best and their brightest, but they didn't. Rudy got up here and promoted misinformation and disinformation on my channel, and we can't allow that. Rudy, go straight to hell.
Silence, you mother demon.
W Zeus. Hey, Rudy, I'm going to say this, and not just to you, because it's the spirit of Rudy. It's not just Rudy, it's the spirit of Rudy. Everyone out there that has the spirit of Rudy, it's a MAGA demon. But here's the thing. You can't blame Joe Biden for everything that's going on in this country and then turn around and tell us all he's incompetent and tell us all that he's sleepy and he's a criminal. It just doesn't work that way. Sort of like, they just found out with this Albrego Garcia case. You got to go reread it. They said the people who were saying Albrego Garcia was part of the MS-13 gang. The witnesses were giving testimony saying that this guy was on the road transporting immigrants more hours in the week than there are. Think about this. So the math isn't mathing, MAGA. And what we're all trying to show you is the only people being played right now are you. We see this. We see the danger and we're getting out of the way. Y'all sitting ducks. Y'all sitting there going along with this nonsense. And unfortunately, when you do things like that, I've been saying it for a while. God's judgment is truly upon you. And this is why you are seeing right now all these things that are happening in red states. And you're going, wow, I've never seen that. Oh, no, we've never seen that. My man. W Zeus, WU. They hate it when you do that, Dan, because they sit there and they reason within themselves. How did we end up on the losing side? This is what the MAGA demon is doing right now. They thought Donald Trump was going to send them to the golden age. They thought it was going to be the land of milk and honey, but it's not the land of milk and honey with these folks. It's the land of broke and bummy. W Zeus. All right, let's see if we got another Trump supporter. Do we have any Trump supporters out there still? Yeah, the land of broken bummy. All right, and I've seen them. You can see these people. They get into the box, and you just know their life is in shambles. I'm talking total shambles. Yeah, any Trump supporters out there, real quick, please put a 1 in the chat, and I'll bring you right on up here. And again, what I'm trying to do, and if you all haven't noticed this, yes, I do deliver the information that I have in a very deliberate and up forward way. But when I actually bring people up, I start from the foundation, we're all Americans. But just watch. It goes from we're all Americans to them being victims and domestic tease in record time. Eddie, send me a guest request and I'll bring you right on up here. It doesn't take that long to get up here. Watch how these Trump supporters turn themselves into victims right in front of your very eyes. I ought to get a sound effect for when they start to turn themselves into pretzels. Ron John, I sent you an invite. You can start a conversation off with a Trump supporter, American to American, and within record time, it'll turn into they're somehow a victim. And you're going, well, when did you become a victim? When did you know you were a victim? All right, because you just didn't happen when Joe Biden became president, right? You've been in this country ever since you were born. Yeah, I've been in this country ever since I was born. So you've been you've been benefiting, right? You've been riding around on American highways. You've been flying in American planes. You've been, getting those American benefits, running around here celebrating the 4th of July. Well, when did you become a victim? Who's this? I don't see anyone. All right. Let's move it along then. All right. Well, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? We don't have any brave soldiers that are willing to come up here and actually tell the truth and shame the devil. So you know what this means. Good morning, Nutty. Welcome, W Southern. Thank you so much, Dan. Once again, W Dan's in the chat. What is that?
Good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm all right.
So, I want to play a game with you.
Mm-hmm.
Who said this? We will measure our success not only by the battles we win, but also by the wars that we end. And perhaps, most importantly, the wars we never get into.
Uh-oh, the live has been reported. Oh, my goodness. Well, you know what that means. I'm not sure why, but please, what was the quote? It is what it is at this point, ladies and gentlemen. I knew this was going to be a controversial show. Who said that?
So, does anyone remember where that quote came from? That was Mr. Trump. That was Mr. Trump speaking. That was part of his speech on Inauguration Day. So if that is the case, and we're not getting into any more wars, then why this? Why now?
Wow.
Can anyone answer that question for me?
Yeah. Any Trump supporters out there want to come up here and explain why we are now in this situation? Well, MAGA is angry, and I'll tell you why they're angry. Because the territory that they were, covering after the election, they slowly started to lose a lot of ground. They don't have much to stand on right now. Everything they thought they had, it's been totally destroyed. W Nutty.
If I'm not mistaken, last week when Takesha came up in your box,
yeah,
didn't she say this would happen by Saturday?
Yes.
And when did it happen?
Saturday. As Takesha said it would happen. I was literally out and about, and I said, you can't make this stuff up. It really did happen. And I was like, well, he did say 2 weeks, and we know the 2 weeks is a joke. It's a running joke.
Well, that's his thing, is 2 weeks. Everything is 2 weeks. We're still waiting on that healthcare plan from his first administration. So I guess 2 weeks hasn't come yet. So
it's funny that when it comes 2 weeks to do the right thing, he never does it. 2 weeks to do the wrong thing, he way ahead of schedule, right? W Dan's. Wow, go ahead, Nutty.
There is a lot of activity, especially close to where I live.
Yeah.
Because where these planes, the bombers came from.
Yeah.
It came from the Air Force Base less than an hour from my home. And so we're here wondering, why do we see so much activity in the air? We're used to seeing activity because we're by an Air Force Base. But the activity that we saw over the last week, so this has been going on for a while because we've been seeing a lot of activities in the sky. Because it's no secret, I'm in the Kansas City area. And so Whiteman Air Force Base. That's where they came from. We're seeing all this activities in the sky when, we're like, wow, that's a lot of increased activity.
Yeah.
So all I got to say is, MAGA, you guys came up in these lives and said that you voted or you will vote for Donald Trump because the first thing that came out of your mouth when any one of us asked you why, you said no new wars. That's the thing that sticks in my brain. No new wars. No new wars. And then the second thing was inflation.
Yeah.
So the Strait of Hormuz, if the supreme leader, the Ayatollah Khomeini, if he says yes to closing it, guess what's going to happen, MAGA?
Speak on it.
Our gas prices, well, Zeus is already close to $10 a gallon, but our gas prices are going to be over $10 a gallon.
Now, how does that? Because there's a couple of characters that we have rolling around in the kingdom. Tiny Tank Top Tim Tom Turkey Neck. I added that because Swerve and added it. He rides around in a 2016 truck, Toyota, not even American, right? How would gasoline? Yeah, how would gasoline at $8, $9, $10 a gallon impact somebody like Tiny Tank Top Tim Tom? Because we gotta help them see this.
So you're talking about 4X, the same 4X that claimed that between a combined income of he and his wife is it was either just over or just shy of $50,000, a combined income.
Yeah, I think so. I vaguely remember that.
So with that being said, with that being a combined income, it's going to affect him a heck of a lot more than it affect us. It's going to affect him because someone who's making that little, and trust me, y'all, $50,000 combined, $50,000 just individual, that's not enough for a lot of where we live.
Right.
But combined is even worse than that. Now, 4X, I do hope you make more money than that because we all should be having a livable wage. But that's neither here nor there. It's going to affect him because people who make that little amount of money, they're living paycheck to paycheck. Zeus, every time I get in your live, we always talk about these euphemisms.
Yeah.
They're living paycheck to paycheck. They are robbing Peter to pay who?
Paul.
Exactly.
That's a Bible thing.
He cannot afford. Listen, I make more than that. And I can't afford, or at least I don't want to afford, to be paying $8, $9, $10 a gallon for gas. The devil is a lie.
So this is going to harm him, financially speaking.
100%.
And that's what we're trying to tell you, Trump supporters.
100%. And see, just because I have more money in the bank than he does, doesn't mean that I want to pay that either. So wishing damnation on you would be wishing it upon myself. And I'm not wishing that on you.
We tried to warn them. We're trying to tell you, Trump supporters, this. Seriously, there's are irreversible consequences to what you're doing. We get it. You hate the Democrats. But think about it. If it wasn't for the Democrats now, you would be in a lot of trouble. Because we're probably, you know what I thought about, Nutty? We're probably one of the reasons they're not doing anything crazy right now, because we're showing the rest of the world it's not all Americans that are going along with this. Please don't go too hard. All right, have mercy, right? We're showing them that, maybe they need to not just go after all, because there's a good chunk of us out here who represent the better angels, the better voices of this country.
So Zeus, unfortunately, I wish that would be the thinking, but unfortunately, when you're dealing with a nation like Iran, a nation that we have talked about, we've done. I'm trying to censor my words because you've already been flagged even before you started the show. We've been at odds with Iran for over 50 years.
Yeah,
and the fact that we had an agreement with Iran, who broke that agreement first? Trump. It was the United States under Donald Trump during his first administration.
I'm going to say Trump because it wasn't, We
Well,
as the country,
unfortunately,
but he did that.
He's representing the United States, so therefore,
Him and his supporters did it.
Yeah, by default, he is the United States by default. And I know. Listen, listen, brother, I hear you. I hear
No, Obama did not do it. See,
and this is why we have never been this close to WW3 until now. But yet they blamed Biden for this. What did Kamala Harris say when she was running for president? She said, and I quote, "If we put Donald Trump back into the White House, we will be at war within 6 months." Those were her words verbatim.
Boom.
And you all did not want to listen to her. You thought it was hyperbolic. You thought that she was fear-mongering.
Gaslighting.
You thought. But the unfortunate thing is you weren't thinking. You just cared about putting a 34-time convicted felon, a graper, a SAer, a bankruptcy aficionado into the White House. Now he's bankrupting the United States of America. He's bankrupting us, putting that money into his own pocket, putting that money into his family's pocket, putting that monkey and money into all of his rich friends.
He said monkey. That's funny. But you're right.
But
they know it.
The people who voted for him, they're not getting any of that benefit. None of it.
Name one Trump supporter that's benefiting right now. Any Trump supporters out there benefiting right now? Just identify yourselves in the comment section, because we see that you lack the ability to act. Oh, look at it! They actually said I.
And we know they're lying.
They are lying this morning. Wow.
If they were benefiting from it, guess what? We all would be benefiting from it.
Yeah, and they would be up here bragging. Yeah, they'd be up here bragging, telling me, and they'd be turning on their cameras, showing us all the cash laying on the bed, under the mattress. They'd be showing us all the success. They ain't got no success. None.
It's sickening. It's sickening because we don't need to be in yet another war.
Thank you.
This is what President Biden did when he came in. He was like, he stopped the United States' longest war. He got us out of there, out of Afghanistan, under the time frame, by the way, that Donald Trump negotiated with the Taliban.
Yeah. Tell him.
And then y'all complained about that. Could it have been done better? Potentially, possibly. But I'm getting ready to get out of here. But MAGA, what say you? We put 4 tech bros into the position of lieutenant colonels, you worried about DEI. You worried about black people, Hispanic people, or anyone that wasn't YT getting a job, and said DEI was bad. But yet we put 4 YT men who are in Silicon Valley, who are rich. We put them in a position of lieutenant colonel in our Army Reserve. They've never served this country ever. They didn't sign their name to go to war. What about the professional people who actually signed their name, who went through the boot camps, who did the work, and yet they jumped over all of them and became lieutenant colonel?
Dance.
Again, what say you?
Tell him, Nutty.
What say you? You want to defend that action? You want to talk about DEI? Is that not DEI?
Cooked and booked.
Zeus,
you did
I'm
it.
tired of this.
You did it.
We are living in a twilight zone. We're living in a twilight zone. And I'm being very censored because, again, I don't want to.
It said appeal not. It said appeal not approved. So yeah. Well, listen, we got to move it on, my good friend. All right, but ladies and gentlemen, let's give Nutty a huge round of applause. There you go. There you go. Okay, hold on. Let's see if I can get him to come up. Hold on. All right. Sometimes I gotta, do this. I don't know if you could come up, Dans, but you're here tearing it up. I wanted to see if you wanted to come up here and give us a few choice words. If not, I understand, but I'll continue to do what we've been doing. All right, ladies and gentlemen, W. Dans is back. I knew it. Good morning, sir. How are you doing?
Hey, good morning. How are you? Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you. I can hear you. Well, welcome back. I saw you doing what you do, and then this weekend you actually hosted a live. I was in there very briefly, and I liked what you were doing. You actually were sitting next to a Trump supporter and trying to educate them. How did that go? How did it end?
It never goes well.
Because
And it usually ends. Yeah, good.
No, because you're trying to actually make change happen, right? And so you're doing it in a way that I thought maybe that's the way to go. But and so I'm monitoring. But please continue.
Sure, sure. Yeah, obviously that happens to be my brother-in-law, which
Mm.
makes things a little bit easier in terms of being able to sit down next, and have a conversation. Um,
Yeah.
it typically ends with him getting very argumentative, uh, uh, and that's the difficult part. I
Mm-hmm.
try not to argue back with people.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
I think we're having your
what's the
signal's
point of
going in
arguing
and out. Can you hear me? Your
with
signal is going in and out, Dan's. Maybe the connection isn't as strong as it was at first. Are you there, Dan's? I think we've lost you. Yeah, it's the red bars. It's the red bars. Well, listen, Dan's. It's the red bars. I'm going to drop you. Oh yeah, yes. W Dan's. I think if you're next to the strong signal, send Big Zeus. If you're next to the strong signal, Dan's, come on back. I wanted to hear how that goes, but W Dan's. See, when you have folks like Dan's, you got to talk to them because that's someone actually doing the real work as well. All right, doing that. But if you can, Dan, send a guest request again. Hopefully, the signal will be better, and we would love, honestly, to hear from you. Let's see real quickly. Do we have any Trump supporters in the chat right now? Put a one in the chat if you're a Trump supporter. I'll try to bring you up real quickly because we don't got all day to do the same song and dance. All right. If you are a Trump supporter, please send Big Zeus a guest request. All right. Let's see. Put a one. Okay. Tiny Tank Top Tim Tom. You can't. No. You have to go back and do the homework we've asked you to do it. All right. You're not even doing the homework we've asked you to do. All right. Let's see. Do we have any? I guess. Sorry about that, Zeus. Bad signal. I appreciate you having me up. Yeah, no problem. I just wanted to make sure we got to check in with you. Let's see. Who do we have next? All righty then. Let's see. All right. Let's see. Who is this? Greetings. It's a lot of noise. Greetings. Yeah, I thought so. Maybe that's not a good idea. All right. Let's move it along, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go ahead and bring up my good friend, Brother Val. What's going on, bro? How are you doing?
Good. I mean, it's been interesting so far today. It's been a fun show. I've loved what I've seen.
Well, we're on restriction mode, so they throttle down the exposure when that happens.
Works.
Yeah,
it's all good.
It's all good, brother. How was your weekend?
Weekend was great. Did some work this weekend, and then some work. We had Bernie here and in my town this weekend. That was
wow,
actually fun.
Wow.
So that was a good time.
Yeah.
And then, but I wanted to talk about your little Hispanic friend that came up here earlier today.
Rudy.
Rudy. You talked about Biden and BRICS, and I'm still trying to figure that out since BRICS was originally thought of by Goldman Sachs in 2001.
W Dance. Go ahead. Talk to him, Val.
2001. Then became a thing in actually 2009 after the U.S. went into recession. That's when BRICS first started, sir. So I don't know why you're putting that on Biden in any way. It is really due to the U.S. going through a bad economic time due to a Republican president.
Wow.
So I don't know where you're coming up with BRICS being part of Biden. That's pretty
Rudy, do you want to answer that question, Rudy? Because what we don't want to do is let him off the hook with that lie, because what he'll do is it's like poison, right? Rat poison. They'll go and spread it around on the app, and the next thing you know, you're going, why are you all saying the same ridiculous lie? So it's been debunked, Rudy. Stop it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the research and what Nutty was talking about a little bit ago. That's been kind of my focus this weekend too. How do three tech billionaires get to become part of the U.S. military without ever signing up, serving, having to deploy, and actually get a rank in the U.S. military of lieutenant colonel?
Wow.
This is one of the most disgusting things I think I've ever seen in U.S. history. I mean, I don't know how much more we really have to say that the man in the White House does not respect anything about our military and how it works.
Yeah.
That was a slap in the face to everybody that works their tail off to get rank in the U.S. military.
Yeah.
That is craziness.
Wow.
And then we had our little kabooming this, Saturday. And you're right, Takesha called that 100%.
Then you think to yourself when it happened, you're like, wow, we were just talking about this.
We did. It was Takesha was the first thing that came to mind when I saw it on the news.
Yeah.
And that was definitely wild. But it's been a weekend for sure, one to remember for a long time. Historically going to be problems. And and like these.
Well, let me ask you a question.
Go ahead.
With all that's happened since Trump has gotten into office, I think the question every American needs to ask themselves is simply, do you feel safer or not? And so, what would your answer be about that question? Do you feel safer now?
No, not under any. I mean, this has made the global tension much worse. I mean, you had the UN that immediately called an emergency session. You have the leader of Iran meeting with Russia and China about what they're going to do about this. You have raised tensions in the world with this, and that's that is exactly what, if people will remember, when Obama signed the agreement with Iran, he said these words. He said, I am doing this to make it capable for us to keep up with their nuclear program, to find out if they're going beyond a certain point. And the reason I'm doing this is because I do not want to have to make a future president have a choice of either getting into a conflict with Iran.
Yeah.
Or, you know what I'm saying, or letting them just move forward with their nuclear program. I don't want to give a future president that choice. That was Obama's words.
Yeah.
Okay. And that was good stuff. And then we have Donald Trump come into office, gets rid of that deal, and then comes back into office for a second time. And then decides that he wants to work a deal with Iran. And is surprised by their answer.
Wow.
Because their answer was, we do not know if we can trust the United States. That was their answer.
Jeez.
And rightfully so.
Wow. Wow. You see what you did, MAGA? You see what you did? You broke trust. Once your partner cheats on you, it's kind of hard to forget about it. Forget it, right?
Oh, yeah.
W Val.
Yeah, you
can't Once they cheat on you, you can't go back and go, oh, well, that never happened. No, it happened.
And go ahead. I wanted to say one other thing, too, real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
To Rudy. Rudy, I want you to understand something. I don't think you understand how rich it is for a Hispanic individual to come into a room and claim that Democrats are delusional when talking about immigration. Sir, You want to find your way to what's really going on? Why don't you just go hang around some court building and see what happens?
I shouldn't be laughing. W Dance once again.
Thank you, Don. You've been great this whole life. Thank you.
It's incredible. And we know Rudy will never go to a courtroom. He'll never do it. W Dance, thank you. Seriously.
No, he'll never do it. He'll never go near a courtroom because, sir, we're not mad if people that truly don't belong in this country are being removed. We're not mad about that. But we set up here for the last 4 years,
sure did,
listening to people tell us as long as they do it the right way. Remember those words, MAGA? As long as they do it the right way. And we just saw an actual full video of an immigrant with his attorney that was doing everything the correct way.
Yep.
Get pulled out of the courtroom by ICE, taken, the judge sign a stay order, and getting rushed out before the judge could hand in the stay order. And then once the judge handed the officer the stay order, they refused it.
Wow. I don't feel safe in those conditions. Not when I see that hear that stuff and see that stuff happening. I don't feel safer. Not at all. And for anyone to say that they actually feel safer knowing that that's happening, it just hasn't happened to you yet, but eventually it will. Because this is what it takes for every single Trump supporter to come out of the fog. It has to happen to them. And
Right.
it will. And it will.
And we had that happen. We had that happen yesterday. We had a lady come into the live, and a MAGA lady. And she started off with all the same talking points, the ones we ever hear. Gas is actually going down. And I had to show her in her city, gas actually went up. And we went through the whole thing with her. And it took about 10 minutes of her getting information. And she finally broke down. Okay.
Really?
Finally broke down and said, and this is what we found out about this lady. This is a lady that voted for Donald Trump with a child on the spectrum, okay, and a child that is part of the LGBTQI community,
Yeah.
okay, and has cancer on Medicare right now.
You got to be kidding me, Val.
No, cancer on Medicare right now, and she finally broke down. Now, this is what Obama was talking about when he said we have to make room.
Jeez.
Okay, because this is what I want to remind everybody up here. Because
You're there, Tara. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Fine. I take your word. I know you wouldn't get up here and lie, but
Yeah, no,
wow.
that actually happened. And the thing I want to make everybody aware of is we do need to make room. But the other thing I want to make everything aware of is what's happening in this country right now is real, and it's real to a lot of people. We have to make sure that we remember that the work we do up there is that the work we do here, and the work some of us, me included, do outside of this app, is making a difference.
Good.
I want everybody to remember this. It is making a difference.
I can testify to that, Val. To be honest with you, yeah, a lot of people are slowly coming out of the cult, and you just have to sit back and say. And actually, I actually think it's making such a difference that his poll numbers reflect it as well. If you think about it, right? Because we didn't surrender after they won the election, even though we know they did some funny, shady stuff. We still have been maintaining our position and making sure people understand that there are real, legitimate consequences. It's not just.
Hey, no, somebody wrote down. We were mean to that lady.
It's not just
Do
what
what?
we're doing. We're really, forcing people to start thinking.
Right. But people wrote down in the comments we were mean to that lady. You know what? Yes, because that conversation is not comfortable. If you want a comfortable conversation, get out of politics. I mean it, get out. Because when you talk about the politics and how we treat people in this country and our laws and the Constitution and it being subverted, it is not a comfortable conversation. There comes a point in time that you have to let your pride go. I talk about this a lot. Until you let your pride go and actually look, you will not see.
Val is speaking now, and again, this is why I tell people, I don't think it's the Democrats running around here thinking that they're better than people, because I think that's a lie. All right, but I do think there is something to recognizing things that you may have done in the past that are not on the up and up, and then trying to be committed to making changes, right? And I see more of that happening in the Democrat Party, where it's like, okay, that wasn't right, but you know what? There's a better way to go about doing it, and we should make an effort to do that. I don't like the idea of just being comfortable and being bad. I don't like that.
No, these aren't going to be comfortable conversations, but you know what? In the end, like I said a minute ago, they make a difference.
Yep.
And the more differences, one at a time, guys. I don't want you to think in 10, 20s, 30s, billions. I want you to think one at a time.
Mm-hmm. That part. Well, listen, Brother Val, I appreciate the nice in the update, but we got to move.
We got to move on.
Thank you, brother. All right, ladies and gentlemen, W Val. Yes, Dems we do care about everyone, and we also have tough love, right?
Absolutely.
All righty then. W Val. No lies protected. Thank you. Woo wee. Oh my goodness! All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's see. Do we have any Trump supporters out there that feel brave enough to come up here and go ahead and come out of the cult this morning? Put a 1 in the chat if you're a Trump supporter and you want to come on out of that cult and start to get on a path towards forgiveness perhaps. All right, because we'll get you there. W Zeus. W Zeus. Alrighty then, let's go, ladies and gentlemen. W. Good morning, Shay. Welcome. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes. How are you doing?
It's great. I'm great. Obviously Takesha and Nutty and Val have talked about a lot of the stuff that's really going down. But
yeah.
I got a question. I'd love to have DJ. I'd love to have someone else up here and answer this question. Hey, everybody. So how do they feel about us wasting $6 billion to boom Iran's nuclear facilities, only to find out that they'd moved all the nuclear capabilities material out of there?
I am looking in the audience right now. So you said they wasted $6 million
to do that. Mm-hmm. To drop those bunker bombs and 30 some odd Tomahawk missiles from submarines.
And you know what, Shay? Mm-hmm. You said, and it's not just the billions that were wasted, but now we're in a situation where things have escalated, perhaps? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes. In fact, did you see one of his latest truths is, let me get it real quick. So I never want to misquote, the president of the United States. We don't want to do that. He says, where is it? It was right here. Where is it? Where'd it go? Sorry. I did it not. Oh, I think I didn't. Oh, there it is. He goes, everyone, all caps, keep oil prices down. I'm watching. You're playing right into the hands of the enemy. Don't do it. Why do you think he's doing that? He knows. He knows he just disrupted the oil supply.
He just put that out?
Yeah, he just put that out.
Say it again. Say it again. My audio went in and out.
Oh, that's okay. He goes, everyone, this is all caps again. Everyone, keep oil prices down. I'm watching! Exclamation point. You're playing right into the hands of the enemy. Don't do it! Exclamation point. They're about to skyrocket. The Iranian parliament has voted to close the Strait of Hormuz.
Wow. Wow. Oh, now.
Yeah. So he's sitting here
Wow.
going, don't do it. Because he knows it's about to just, it's going to skyrocket. He doesn't ever want to take the blame for anything, and he knows this is what's going to happen.
$1.98 gas. Diava, please. Wow. This never would have happened if Kamala Harris would have became president. This never would have happened. What we'd
Absolutely
be arguing
not.
about if Kamala Harris was president? We'd be arguing about the first $25,000 you get on the buying your first home, or her trying to build more homes, so that you could end homelessness. We would be arguing about the opportunity economy, keyword opportunity. But instead, Shay, we're about to be in a situation where you're saying gas could shoot up to $8 to $9 to $10. Shoot, maybe even $20 a gallon.
Oh, yeah.
And I asked Nutty, but maybe you could help synthesize it in a way they can get it. Say you're a person like Tiny Tank Top Tim Tom, you're on a fixed income. What would be the impact of Donald Trump's disastrous strike that skyrockets gas prices? What would be the impact on a person like him?
You're talking about, the thing is that, they've been complaining for years under Biden that things were too expensive, right? They couldn't afford it. And we've seen the results of a lot of that stuff, coming out of a pandemic, people trying to find jobs, people trying to do this, trying to budget, they're going into debt. And it's really sad to watch, that this is going to cause inflation, right?
Yeah.
We're already looking at going into recession. We're looking at the end of June already, slow GDP growth, slow everything, right?
Yeah.
Unemployment, all of this stuff. So, it's just going to be starting to crash the markets. And I'm curious to see how the stock markets are going to respond to all of this. This is I hate to use the word catastrophic, but this is not good.
Yeah.
It's not good.
Yeah.
We were on the right trajectory when Biden left office. Economically, gas producing, all of it. We're on the right projection that he goes and does this. And it's just going to disrupt everything. The other thing is that nobody's talked about, have you heard China and Russian warplanes were on the coast of Alaska?
No.
Yeah. So look this up, guys. So we've got, for the first time,
China and Russia
flying together, doing missions together, refueling together.
Oh.
So our planes and Canadian warplanes went out to basically, protect our borders. They were right on the coast of Alaska. Why are they operating together? It's the first time we've ever seen that. It's crazy. Y'all look it up, not lying. So here's the deal. Who are they friends with? Who are they allies to?
Tara, let's go. Iran? Would Iran be?
Iran. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they're allies to Iran. So why are they doing these nuclear tactical cooperation, working together? Russia and China, ladies and gentlemen. And China.
World War III. And here's the thing, Shay. How's our relationship with our allies as of late?
Under Trump, really bad. Really bad. He wants to take away NATO. This is why we have NATO, ladies and gentlemen. This is the reason. So when things pop off like this, we have each other's back. So this will be the first time if China enters into anything, this would be catastrophic. Because listen, we're not worried about Iran's nuclear ability. We're not, because they don't have it yet.
Well, Shay, I got some different information. We can talk about it, but maybe that's what I wanted to bring up. It says a minority assessment in the mid '90s concluded that Iran was successfully buying the 4 nukes in 1992, and there's a report. Iran bought 4 nukes from Kazakhstan in 1992, which they reverse engineered and started building their own a couple of decades later. All right. Trump's war on Iran, based on the pretext that Iran is weeks or even days away from developing nuclear weapons, is a lie. All right. Now, I can send you the information on this and look into it, but it says Iran likely does have nuclear hypersonic missiles and underground silos that could obliterate Israel in 15 minutes from launch. The U.S. and Israel are playing with nuclear fire, they say. Trump's decision to do what he did at those nuclear sites and fully back Israel, unprovoked strikes on Iran, making America far less safe and far more insecure. He is placing the lives of 286 million Americans in extreme risk for no given reason, given the fact that there is zero evidence of any imminent threat from the Iranian nuclear weapons. So they've had these things. They've had it the whole time. If they wanted to, they probably could have used it. Who's showing more restraint, Shay?
Iran is.
Ain't that crazy? You got to watch.
It's crazy. They don't want to get into a head-to-head. Let's be real clear. Even if they have it, right?
Yeah.
We've got much more, hundreds of them, right? They know they don't want to get into a head-to-head. So we're not really worried about, like, if we went head-to-head with Iran, we would obliterate them, right? It's not, and they know this, right? Everybody watched what we did with Saddam Hussein. Everybody knows what we did during Kuwait.
Did we find any weapons with Saddam, though?
No, we sure didn't.
Ain't that hilarious?
Yeah, this is another weapons of mass destruction, because here's the deal. All they had to do is present it to Congress. Show the evidence, show the satellite images, show everything, right? That's what Colin Powell did, right? In 2003. And Congress voted on whether that was the right thing to do, correct? Even though Bush did preemptively strike Iraq, they went in and did, present everything, right? Yeah. And that's why he was under such fire, because of the preemptive strikes on Iraq.
Yeah.
So here we have, that's what they should have done. But you have the Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, saying they don't have it. You have a lot of intelligence saying they don't have it. But as we know, Trump does not believe his own intelligence agencies. Y'all remember Helsinki saying Russia, Putin get involved in our election systems, and taking the side of Putin. Y'all remember all that in his first term?
Yeah.
He doesn't believe our intelligence agencies, right?
Ain't that
the election wasn't stolen, la, la, la. He just, He said, no, Netanyahu, Bibi, my best buddy, he told me they have it, so I got to go in and do that. And because a lot of his base are Christian nationalists, and they believe in saving Israel.
Yeah.
And that Israel must be saved in order for Jesus to come back. This is why you don't mix theology with politics, guys. This is why we have separation of church and state.
Yeah.
It's dangerous. This is why Iran does need a regime change, but it's not our job to do it. Right? Because
we don't need to waste any American resources trying to save everybody else's business instead of taking care of our own business. And this is what I thought Donald Trump said he was going to do.
What happened to America First?
There is no America First. It's just Donald Trump doing whatever they pay him to do. And it's sad because he doesn't care about everyday Americans. What a disgrace. Well, listen, Shay.
It really is.
All right. We got to move it on. W. Shay. No lies detected. You see, ladies and gentlemen, it's a show of force this morning. Oh my goodness. All right. Oh my gosh. W. Santana, welcome. Good morning, champ. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing all right, but you know what? You got the show for a second. I'll be right back.
I got you. Listen, hey. So, chat. Good morning, everyone. I just want to take a few moments to actually speak about what's happening, right? We understand that currently this administration has us barreling towards a war, which is something they said they wouldn't do. And even more than that, it's something that could have been prevented. I've talked about multiple times that Donald Trump has a direct link to Israel having coverage to say that, we fear that they have nuclear weapons, and so we need to bomb. And the inflection point that I'm speaking on is the pullout of the Iranian nuclear deal, right? Donald Trump pulled us out of that actual deal, which then removed any type of possible sanctions or military recourse if they decided that they want to start making nuclear weapons. They no longer have that recourse. They can actually start making weapons. Israel can now say, well, we think they're making weapons and we need to actually attack them. All of this is a direct connection, a direct link to Donald Trump. If he would not have done that, or at the very least, if he would have done that with a plan in place to ensure that they didn't start making any type of nuclear weapons, then we wouldn't be in that situation.
W. Santana, I don't know. I know you've been carrying it, but keep it going. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that.
Yeah, listen, there's a couple of Trump supporters, especially who is this? What's WrestleMania or something? He's saying that I'm wrong. Cool. Come up. Tell me how I'm wrong. Come and explain to me how I'm wrong.
WrestleMania will never, but let me see, WrestleMania, send Big Zeus a guest request. And what we'll do is we'll get you in and we'll get you out. It won't take long to debunk them, all right? WrestleMania, where are you at? I don't.
So
Go ahead, please.
they're not going to request. So, I mean, the point that I was making, Zeus, is that Donald Trump has a direct link and is, directly responsible for where we are today, because a lot of stuff that he does, he actually enacts things without having a real plan behind it, and so there's no follow through, right? I
Yeah.
mean, that's why even their attempts to repeal the ACA, right? They didn't have an actual replacement. That's why he still doesn't have a replacement healthcare plan, but they want to get rid of it,
Yeah.
right? That's what they do. That's what the Republican Party has a track record of doing, getting rid of certain things and then just letting the mess lie wherever it falls.
Tell him, W. Santana, all right? Do you think now? But the question I'm asking, Santana, and you're an honest American, one of the most honest I've ever ran into. Since Trump has gotten into office, do you honestly feel less safer or more safer, if you don't mind? Because people need to know where we're at right now.
Yeah, no, it's definitely less safe, and not just in the sense of global standing, right? Not just in the sense of possible military strikes, but Donald Trump has weakened our economy, weakened our standing in around the world, weakened our health organizations. I mean, you have RFK Jr. Literally getting rid of scientists, right? I mean,
Yeah.
there's multiple ways that we're more. I mean, he's weakened regulations, so there now more pollution is allowed.
Wow.
Weaken even the military by saying that transgender people no longer can actually serve. I mean, we were literally unsafer in multiple ways
Yeah.
than we were when Joe Biden was president.
Wow. Multiple ways than when Joe Biden was president. And so this is where we're at right now. We don't feel safer. Do you think the average person that supports Donald Trump can honestly afford gas going to, $9, $10 a gallon, maybe even 20? Do you think the average Trump supporter can afford that?
No, no. I mean, like, being honest, the average American, lives paycheck to paycheck, right? And there is a lack of care or empathy on the side of the Republican Party
Yeah.
and the Trump administration specifically. But see, this is the key, right? MAGA, for some reason, believes that if the people that are quote unquote stealing their jobs, right, if those people are removed, then
Yeah.
their life is somehow going to get better. Well, Zeus, them trying to execute this mass deportation at the same time that we're possibly dealing with a war, with gas prices set to surge, with grocery prices set to surge. All of this is just a massive storm that we're facing all at one time
Wow.
because their leader makes impulsive decisions.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. This is sad. And you know what? While you're talking, Santana, he just posted something on his platform, Live Central. You want me to read it to you? And I'm going to read it to you, and you tell me, does this make you feel less safe or more safe? He goes, "Did I hear former President Medvedev from Russia casually throwing around the N-word, parentheses, nuclear? And I say that he and other countries would supply nuclear warheads to Iran? Question mark. Did he really say that, or is it just a figment of my imagination? If he did say that, and if confirmed, please let me know immediately. The N word should not be treated so casually. I guess that's why Putin, quote, the boss. By the way, if anyone thinks of our hardware was great over the weekend, far and away the strongest and best equipment we have, 20 years advanced over the pack, is our nuclear submarines. They are the most powerful and lethal weapons ever built, and just launched the 30 Tomahawks. All 30 hit their mark perfectly. So in addition to the great fighter pilots, thank you to the captain and crew." Do you feel safer after hearing that?
Zeus, not only do I not feel safer, I love the gaslighting, right? I love the fact that he said the N word, right? I mean, it's so amazing how like he throws out red meat to his base at the same time as making us less safe, right? There's no diplomacy in what he's doing. Being online and threatening other countries, that's not how you lead. That's not diplomacy. But at the same time, I mean,
That's
like,
crazy.
you know, his base, N word. That's the only N word. There's
Yeah.
no other N word. It's okay. We don't want to talk about nukes. That's the N word. The other stuff, you can
Yeah.
say that.
Yeah. Ain't that something? W. Santana, he's cooking them. Wow.
Yeah. So, Zeus, I know you got to keep it moving, and I don't want to take up too much time. The one point that I just really wanted to drill home with all this happening, right, is
Yeah.
Donald Trump has immediately put American lives in danger,
Yeah.
right, and not just like the possibility of going into a war with quote unquote boots on the ground in Iran,
Yeah.
but all of our soldiers that are in the Middle East, right? They're now in direct danger. It's it's funny, Zeus. I know you're a wrestling fan. I'm a wrestling fan. The WWE is supposed to be in Saudi Arabia this week, right? Like, so American citizens are in danger
Yeah.
for traveling. They just issued a worldwide travel advisory for any American traveling around the country. I'm sorry, traveling
Around
around
the
the world.
world. Yeah.
So like all of this and all of it is just like negative, and it's something that's going to be harmful in multiple ways.
Yeah.
So
And they brought it on themselves. So, yeah, whatever they love, they won't be loving it anymore because Trump is making sure he's ruining everything his supporters love. All right. So, again, W. Santana, ladies and gentlemen, thank you, brother. As always, it's a pleasure to check in with you. All right. Yeah.
I appreciate you.
All right. I appreciate you as well, ladies and gentlemen. There you go. W. Santana. Lord have mercy. All right, let me bring up the next panelist. All right, who do we have next? Good morning, Q-Dog. Welcome. Good morning. How are you?
All right. I don't know if you touched on this topic here, but as I got a news front here that Russia is issuing a new warning to Trump over Iran. They're pretty much blaming United.
Russia?
Yeah, Russia is blaming the United Nations. The Security Council team met on Sunday, and how you say his name? Vasily
I get, yeah.
Nubenza, Russia's ambassador.
Okay.
He pretty much demonstrated, saying that it's the United States' fault for the attacks against Iran, and President Trump.
It's almost like Iran set him up to do this, and he fell for it. It's coming across like that, bro. That's how it comes. It's like they really wanted to put him in this position where he took the bait and he did it. Wow.
Yeah. Oh, he pushed the green button for the go ahead on the 23rd to go ahead and boom boom 3 Iranian nuclear sites. Trump did this.
Yeah.
And now where's Putin at? I thought that was his right hand man. Now they're against each other. See, these are the reasons why they know what's going on, and they put together this plan to utilize in the early stages of Russia and their antics to put a smoke screen up like they're coming together. Now they're against each other. They're butting heads with each other. There's a reason why he's putting together this plan for this $180 billion Golden Dome. Not to mention, they already have bunkers underneath, underground. Because if anything was to pop off, we'd be in trouble, but they would be okay. Y'all got to think about what's going on in this United States with this clown in office. He ain't for you. He's not for your safety. He's not for anything that is going to benefit you as an American, whether you're MAGA, blagger, or on our side. Point blank, period. All they are for is their money,
Lagger,
greed, and lack of empathy.
Yeah.
and y'all keep falling for the banana in the tailpipe. They already put their plans together years ago.
Yeah.
While y'all were all just chilling and nestled all safe in your away from C-19 and whatnot. They put this plan together a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
And you still don't even realize what's going on in front of your eyes.
Yeah.
You want to call it fear mongering. We're not the ones doing it. You can't blame Democrats. You can't blame Obama. You can't blame Biden for this.
Please don't.
This is current happenings in real time. Don't have nothing to do with it. The situation that's going on with Gaza, is this happening under Biden? Is this happening under Obama? Who is Russia blaming right now? They're not blaming. They're not like y'all MAGAs when y'all come up here. Oh, it's Biden. Oh, it's Obama.
Yeah.
It seemed like out of all the presidents across down the length of time, those are the only two presidents that's on your mind that you can think of. I guarantee you these MAGAs couldn't even name all of the presidents that held office.
No, they wouldn't. They wouldn't be able to because their minds, they're broken as far as I'm concerned. And this is why, you just gave me a good idea, Q-Dog. Are there any Trump supporters out there that think what Donald Trump is doing is good? Because let's just get straight to the point. We're going to help them get in contact with a recruiter and set them up so that they can go ahead and enlist in our armed services. Because they should be the first ones to go fight, right, Q-Dog?
Oh, my God. You just put the words. I was thinking that when the live started.
Yeah.
All y'all that's so pro-Trump and ready to ride for MAGA.
Enlist.
Y'all out there with y'all flags. How about y'all put some army fatigues on?
There you go, WQ, dog. Yeah.
Get some MAGA flags and get on the front line.
Yeah. You can go on any website, contact you a recruiter. All right. Now there's going to be some qualifications you got to have. You got to have some citizenship about you. Your green card, perhaps. You got to have your GED. But if you got that and you believe in your dear leader, we will. You and me, Q-Dog, right? We will help them get set up, won't we?
As a matter of fact, MAGA, you won't even have to use military pew-pews.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and get your shot pew-pews that you go deer hunting with.
Yeah.
Go ahead and get them together. Get your shells.
Yeah,
together.
Conservative Democrat, you can go. Tiny Tank Top Tim, you could go. Does anyone have the 1-800 number perhaps for how they can go ahead and start dialing? I think we should just go ahead and promote that. All right, because guess what? That's the only way I actually will believe you think this is a good idea, is if you actually sign up to defend your dear leader's decisions at this level.
They might as well. They out there faking like they ICE. You might as well go ahead and fake like y'all the military. Go ahead and go on out there.
Yeah.
We'll put you on the front line. I even chant for you. Go MAGA.
Yeah.
Get on the front line with your MAGA flags. Wait. We'll wait.
1-800-4GO-ARMY. Let's go. There we go. Thank you to the chat. The chat's always keeping these folks honest. Yeah. And so you see how we've been asking, say, hey, do you think this is a good idea? If so, enlist. These folks are quiet as a church mouse, Q-Dog. Not one of them says, I'm willing to do it.
I'm waiting for them. Put a one in the chat if you're MAGA and come up on the panel if you say you're willing to enlist in the reserves. Go ahead. We'll wait.
Yeah, look at this. For those of you who can't see the comment section.
No one. Hey, bro, I don't see no one.
1-888-550-ARMY. W the chat. Look at this, ladies and gentlemen.
Where you at, MAGA?
Where's Blaga at? Laga at?
Janae, where
they at? Yeah.
Where you at?
Look at
where
this.
You at, Janae? Where you at? Where you at, Tiny Tank Top Tim? You always quick to put a one in the chat when you're trying to come up on the panel. Put a one in the chat right now. Come on. We waiting on you, Tiny Tank Top Tim. Hey, Curly from the Three Stooges. Come on up here. We waiting on you. Oh, Conservative said he willing. Come on. Put your money where your mouth is.
Send me a guest
request. We'll get him on the phone. We'll get him on. Won't we get him on the phone for him, Zoo?
Yep.
We'll go to mute.
We'll
wait for you to come up.
Come on up here, Conservative, real quick. It don't take
long.
Come on,
Conservative.
He ain't really willing to do it. He just knows.
Don't get scared now.
Yeah.
I'm calling all y'all MAGAs out. Y'all come up in here like y'all 10 toes down in the chat. But when it comes to the time
Jarring.
for real action, see, like you say, Zeus, they got what they call those TikTok big bad men.
Yeah.
They gangsters, TikTok gangsters. Come on, MAGA, we waiting on you.
We just want one Trump supporter to come up here real quick.
One call.
We got to wrap this thing up. But I want a Trump supporter to come up here and honestly let us make that call. Make that change. You know, Michael Jackson said, make that change in that song, Man in the Mirror. I want to make that change this morning, all right? We want to get you.
Conservative was the only one that had the walnut sack to put something in the chat, but he still ain't come up.
No, I thought we had a bunch of alphas out there, but we got nothing but betas. Nothing but betas.
This is TikTok Rambo, exactly. Come on.
No alphas, just betas, huh? I got it.
Get your gear together. You can even buy your own army fatigues. Tell them you ready to go to WAR. Let's go.
I've never seen MAGA so quiet because yep. Case closed. WQ dog. Case closed. We've just debunked them in record time, Q dog. These folks don't want to go to war. They want to sit at home and collect Social Security checks, all right? And
they ain't ready for us. They not ready for us, not one bit.
There you go. All right. Well, listen, Q dog, I got to get up out of here, brother. But all right.
We're gonna keep cooking and booking these MAGAs on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
They can be in the chat all they want. But like I said before, MAGA, it ain't even about what's going on in the world right about now. All y'all trying to do is get them TikTok coins and keep your lights on. That's all it's about.
Yeah. And if we catch you, because I'm going to be perusing through the streets of TikTok today, and if I catch any of y'all hosting lives talking about Trump is right about this, I'm going to get straight to the point. Show us. Just go ahead and call that number and join. Show me you do that. I'll believe you then. But if you ain't trying to call and join the military right now, it's all a grift. It's all a grift. Because see, if I really did believe this, Q dog, and I really thought this was time to do 10 toes down, that's their thing. They like to say, I'm 10 toes down. Oh yeah, come on up here. I'll show you. I have no problem calling up the Army. I'm in the Navy, the Air Force, and saying, you know what, I'm coming in there. Make me an appointment. I'll show you. I'm really about this action because I've seen people do that in real life that love their country. I've seen people do that. This is what I'm going to do, Zeus. All right, Q dog. Can you hear me? I think I got a call.
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right,
and I'm gonna land my plane with this one, Zeus. Like I said, we in these TikTok streets and we cooking and booking every day of the week.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give a special shout out to a couple blaggers. And y'all know them very well. One is Kenneth, aka Leon Spinks, aka the Tooth. Then we had that says he went to a HBCU. Then we have Mr. Denali. You know, they pop around on every little live. The last live that they hopped on, I popped up in there and they act like, oh, I don't know who you are. You know, talk to me a dozen times. You act like you don't know who I am. I roasted they behind up out of that live, and it was a good friend of ours, Buttermilk. They was up in there, and then they went to another live where they were really the matter of fact. I'll give a special shout out to her. Her name is Mermaid. Okay. They were roasting them. I ain't even really have to come up.
There you go.
I didn't have to come up. Well, when I got up in there, I ran them up out of there like roaches when you turn on the lights.
Hey.
So we gonna keep cooking and booking them.
Yep.
And doing what we do because they gonna be out there trying to bounce them live to live to try to get some people that don't know us but don't realize, oh, we in these streets. And we gonna keep doing what we doing. We gonna expose y'all until you ain't got nowhere else to run.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it takes. I mean, we're just trying to get people to wake up and come to their senses. And so WQ
he
dog.
In here right now.
Who?
Kenneth in here right now.
Oh, no, I don't got time for Kenneth. Zeus has to get up out of here, all right? But thank you, brother, all right? All right. Oh, my goodness, ladies and gentlemen. Wow, oh, wow. Listen, there's so many lovely people I want to be able to talk to, and I hope you come back tomorrow. I'll try to bring up new faces so that we can continue to rotate. But I want to give all of you out there a huge round of applause because without you, shows like this would not be possible. W to the chat. And thank you to all of my subscribers, gifters, moderators, and panelists. Because like I said, without you, this wouldn't be possible. But you know what? Before I get up out of here, I got to give one last round of, you guessed it, booze and shame. And these booze and shames go out to guess who? Thank you. All of you. We survived, even though we got put on restriction. We survived. I can't believe it. This last round of booze and shame, this goes out to all of the Zeus haters out there. W Scorpions, thank you so much. And these are not just my haters. These are also your haters. They refuse to admit they are wrong. This is where we're at right now. And they have placed the United States of America in danger. Danger we've never, ever thought we would be in our lifetime. We thought our best days were in front of us, but no, they're not. It's almost our worst days now that I think about it, because this deranged and incompetent person that's running this country is hell-bent on getting this country into World War III, and he's actually out there openly throwing the N-word around. That's how serious this has gotten, ladies and gentlemen. Who jokes around with the N-word? Ladies and gentlemen, let's send these Trump supporters where they came from once again. Straight to hell! Get out.
Silence, you MAGA demon.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, and on that note, we are out of here. Take care and stay safe out there in those TikTok streets. I'll see you tomorrow, and hopefully we don't get into any other crazy nonsense. We're out of here. Thank you, everyone. Connect the dots. You know what we do over here. We made it to 500K. Thank you, Cindy Lou. They always want to report the truth, but they don't report the truth. You know what I mean, right? W, Kabira. Let's go, Hey. Let's go. For the people. Hey, WrestleMania. Go get your real account, all right? Because I know who you are now that I think about it. W Zena Smith. W Tara. W Tiffany for the people. Keep up the great work. W Kabira. Thank you so much. Wolverine, Sticky Fingers. I know you're happy that the Thunder won yesterday. It was a good game, but what a nasty Achilles heel injury, right? W Zeus, JTA Creations, Cycle Queen, Q-Doll, let's go. Billy Chica, nice to see ya. Let's go. Thank you, brother Swervin, BAA. Morning Star, Artie Today, DJ Kitty, Shay, and here we go. Connect those dots. Little Hawk, my man. Thank you so much. Taco, Kevin, all right. We got to do some drill, baby drill, and then we are officially out of here. You know what we got to do.
Kamala Harris's war on Pennsylvania energy. We could not go left much since she can't help it. But we're going to end that, and we will frack, and drill, baby, drill.
1600 Pennsylvania Ave on the way. You right? Good call, Heaven.
We're going to be drilling so deep.
You're right, Heaven.
We're going to be, for these guys, we're going to drill. We're going to take out so much money. We're going to pay down our debt. We're going to lower your taxes to insane asylums. They go crazy when I say the late, great Hannibal Lecter. Drill, baby, drill. We're going to frack. Drill, there's a frack. There's a baby, there's a lesson for your energy. She's going to pay.
She's going to bang it.
Up in there, she was against all the stuff, and then all the stuff, and then all of a sudden, everybody here to have to go.
Wait, she was hit and killed in the pack. She said, I like fracking very much. They always go back to what they want. They always go back. She can't help it. She's a radical.
She can't help it. And we're gonna end that. And we will fight and drill, baby, drill. We're gonna drill, baby, drill. We're gonna be drilling so deep. We're gonna be so deep. These guys, we're gonna drill.
Cutie, very well. We're gonna lower your taxes deep, insane asylums. You know they go crazy when I say the late great Hannibal did it.
Drill, baby, drill.
Gonna frack. W heaven. Hey, that's cool. Hey, we're gonna Edward, keep it up, Edward. Let's go, Bay Area. You're right, man. W. We hit the goal.
You know, they go crazy when I say the late great Hannibal Lecter. They say, what you mentioned, Hannibal Lecter.
Why would you do that?
We're gonna lower your taxes. Deep insane asylums. You know they go crazy when I say the late great Hannibal. Drill, baby, drill. We're gonna frack. Drill, baby, drill like it's
Hannibal Lecter.
Drill, baby, drill. We're gonna
lower your taxes. Deep insane asylums. Right here, W Liz. Hey, W Deb. Pamela. Drill, baby, drill like it's Hannibal Lecter time. We're gonna lower your taxes. Keep insane asylums. You know. All right, now listen, MAGA Queen. Listen, I don't know what you've been dealing with, but you don't understand that you're in a bad situation. Because over here, you know what we do? Oh, we take care of business. We're gonna pay off we paid off so much debt, you wouldn't believe it. And then you know what we've done? We've lowered those taxes, but we won't be doing that to you because you gotta suffer, if you know what I mean. W's this. Because guess what? We got so much liquid gold underneath our feet, and all we got to do is drill, baby, drill to get to it. And then you know what happens after that? We're gonna be doing a little bit of that fracking, if you know what I mean. All right, ladies and gentlemen, take care, stay safe out there in the TikTok streets. Don't